Watch. Browns QB Shedeur Sanders pulls up to OT7 league, connects with ex-NFL star Robert Griffin III. Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders has made a habit of supporting young talent. With the NFL preseason still far away before training camp starts, he attended yet another event to support the next generation of stars. Sanders made an appearance at the OT7 League over the weekend, but whether that was in support of the young stars or he was on a recruiting trail for his father, Colorado head coach Deion Sanders, is a different question. He, however, did link up with former NFL quarterback Robert Griffin III, who has wholeheartedly supported the rookie's case to become a starter in Cleveland. That story is better than the movie. In other words, the lesson: Shedeur Sanders warmly interacts with Robert Griffin III at OT7 League. The OT7 League in Miami featured some of the nation's top talent, including a few Colorado targets and commits, and Sanders could very well have been out to convince some to join his father's team as he remained sidelined with a health issue. It's worth noting that Sanders previously convinced Travis Hunter and partly Julian Lewis to flip to the Buffs. The two men have won 4 times in a row to become However, recruiting aside, he was seen warmly greeting Griffin on the field as the two current and former quarterbacks watched a young talent get through their reps. Griffin has been highly supportive of Sanders even before his dramatic slide in the 2025 NFL Draft, and even backs him to become the Browns starter in Week 1. If somebody tells you Shedeur Sanders doesn't do anything special, just know they are full of it and haven't watched his tape, he said before the draft. Now, let's get real about mildews. Now, in the first, that's just pure hate, and hopping on a narrative, tearing him down for clicks. So tired of hearing it. Sanders was widely projected to be a top 5 pick after leading Colorado to a 9-win season, a big thing for a team that finished with just 1 win 2 seasons before. However, some of his own off-field actions and some negative narratives in the media caused him to suffer a historic fall before the Browns ended his slide at 144th overall. Sanders was thrust into a 4-way competition for the starting job in Cleveland, going up against fellow rookie Dillon Gabriel, selected 50 picks ahead of him, and Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco. He has nearly outperformed the rest in each of the offseason practice camps so far, and, following his impressive display at the OTAs, Griffin was quick to point out why the Colorado alum deserved to be a first-round QB. And this being so, when you watch all the clips of Shedeur Sanders, you see why his tape said he was a first-round QB, Griffin wrote on X. He plays with NFL timing and rhythm, reads with his feet, plays ahead of the defense, has more than enough arm strength, and he knows how to layer the ball. Sanders recorded an impressive 7,364 yards, 64 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions in his 2 seasons at Colorado while completing a staggering 71.8% of his passes. If he can sustain that kind of success in Cleveland, whenever he gets the opportunity, the quarterback is bound to hold on to the starting job for quite a few years. But until then, it remains an uphill battle to get over Gabriel and Flacco in the pecking order, if not Pickett. It was just another scorching Saturday afternoon in Las Vegas until a sleek matte black SUV rolled into the OT7 League compound. The doors open. Out stepped Shedeur Sanders, sporting custom cleats, a vintage Browns hoodie with DAW culture stitched across the chest, and diamond-encrusted shades that mirrored the desert sun. The Cleveland Browns' new franchise quarterback had arrived, not to play, but to make a statement. Cameras flashed, phones lifted, whispers turned into roars, and then, as if scripted by fate, Shedeur locked eyes with someone already standing at midfield. Former NFL star and Heisman winner Robert Griffin III. The moment that followed would set social media ablaze, spark debates across sports networks, and remind fans that football is as much about icons as it is about touchdowns. A quarterback brotherhood, the OT7 League, is so soon, so fast. The stars are both the same, that is so familiar. The offseason 7-on-7 football tournament founded by Cam Newton had already grown into a talent-studded mecca for high school phenoms and football culture junkies. But today it became a collision point between generations. Shedeur, fresh off his electrifying spring practices with the Browns, wasn't there to compete. He was there to connect, to give back, scout young talent, and drop wisdom on the next wave. But nobody expected him to share the field with RGIR. Griffin, now a respected broadcast and QB mentor, was coaching a team of elite high school pass catchers, hyping them up with his trademark intensity and infectious charisma. When he saw Shedeur approaching, he didn't hesitate. "Come on, QB1," RGI called out. "Let's see what that dog-pound touch looks like." A football appeared from nowhere. Shedeur spun it in his hands and stepped into the huddle of teenagers, most of whom looked like they couldn't believe their eyes. "You're ready?" he asked, grinning. "Let's cook." A flash of the future, what followed was something between a live mixtape and a quarterback masterclass. Shedeur dropped dimes on corner routes, layered fades over defenders' heads, and threaded lasers through tight windows, all with effortless rhythm and swag. He pointed receivers open before they even broke their routes. He called audibles mid-splay just to test their football IQ. Meanwhile, RGIR ran mock defenses, clapped for tight coverage, and even challenged Shedeur with a rare one-on-one rep where he lined up a DB himself. The crowd erupted when Sanders dropped a perfect back shoulder throw just past Griffin's fingertips. "Man, that arm is NFL ready," RGRI said, laughing and shaking his head. "You got that Dion blood, no doubt. But your game, that's all you." Shedeur's purpose at OT7 later, speaking to reporters and content creators who mobbed him after the showcase, Shedeur explained why he came. "OT7's where the future is," he said. "This game's bigger than just Sundays now. It's about the culture. These kids, they're studying us, so I wanted to come here and let them know. It's cool to be smart. It's cool to be prepared. To work like a pro before you're one." When asked about his connection with RGII, Shedeur nodded with respect. "Man, I grew up watching RGII. Dude was electric. And now he's still giving back to the game. That's what this is all about." Legacy meets leadership. Robert Griffin III, who has become a bridge between past and present players through his media work and mentoring, was just as glowing in his praise of Shedeur. Shedeur's not just Prime's son anymore. He's his own man. His footwork, his patience, his ability to lead young guys, that's elite. And the Browns, they didn't just get a quarterback, they got a CO under center. Griffin also took a moment to speak directly to the high school athletes watching. "You don't got to wait for the draft to start thinking like a pro. You saw Shedeur today, the way he carried himself. That's how you become great. He studies, he leads, and he's not afraid to pull up to your field, shake your hand, and tell you to get your reps in."